Namaskar. Uh, this is Sandeep Yadav. The All India Congress Committee (AICC) convened its 84th National Convention in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, on April 8th and 9th, 2025, marking its first session in the state in 64 years. Themed Nyay, Sankalp, Samarpan, or Sangharsh, path of justice, resolve, dedication, and struggle. The session was held on the banks of the Sabarmati River between the Sabarmati and Kochrab Ashram, symbolizing a return of to the Congress Party's historical roots in Gujarat, the land of Mahatma Gandhi and Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. The Nyay resolution, one of the key outcomes of the conference, encapsulated the party's vision for social, economic, and political justice, while outlining a roadmap to counter the ruling Bharatiya Janata Party and address pressing national challenges. A detailed note to the Nyay resolution was shared with the public. Its context, objectives, and significance was shared. Context and background. The Ahmedabad session came at a critical juncture for the Congress Party, which has been grappling with electoral setbacks and organizational challenges. Despite a modest recovery in the 2024 Lok Sabha elections, losses in subsequent state elections in Haryana, Maharashtra, and Delhi underscored the need for a strategic overhaul. Gujarat, a BJP stronghold since 1995, was a symbolic choice for the session, reflecting the party's intent to reclaim political ground in a state where it once held sway. The session coincided with significant milestones: the centenary of Mahatma Gandhi's presidency of the Congress in 1924 and the 150th birth anniversary of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, reinforcing the party's historical legacy. The Nyay resolution was crafted to address the Congress Party's critique of the BJP's governance, which it accused of undermining India's diversity, eroding democratic institutions, and pursuing policies that exacerbate inequality. The resolution also aimed to articulate a distinct vision of nationalism rooted in inclusivity and justice, contrasting with what the Congress termed the BJP's pseudo-nationalism. Key components of this Nyay resolution was a comprehensive document addressing multiple dimensions of governance, policy, and ideology. This was finalized by a drafting committee with last-minute additions to strengthen its focus on secularism, judicial accountability, and the Congress Party's stance on international issues like Palestine. The resolution's key components included nationalism and social cohesion. The resolution emphasized a nationalism that unites rather than divides. It defined true nationalism as encompassing social, political, and economic justice, alongside the empowerment of marginalized and oppressed communities. It accused the BJP-RSS combine of promoting a pseudo-nationalism that seeks to polarize society along religious and cultural lines, eroding India's pluralistic ethos. The Congress reaffirmed its commitment to protecting the rights of all communities, fostering fraternity, and ensuring equity in progress for the underprivileged, including scheduled caste, scheduled tribes, other backward classes, minorities, and poor from the upper caste even. Social justice. The resolution underscored the Congress's push for a nationwide socio-economic and caste census to address systematic inequalities and inform policy making. It advocated raising the reservation cap beyond 50% for SC, ST, OBC communities and extending quotas to the private sector to promote equitable opportunities. The party highlighted three historic decisions for social justice as emphasized by Rahul Gandhi, including measures to empower marginalized groups and ensure fair representation. The economic justice part of the conference. The resolution critiqued the BJP's economic policies, alleging they favor corporate interests while neglecting the poor, the middle class. It flagged rising inflation and unemployment as pressing concerns. It proposed reforms in education and employment, including measures to address adverse impact, privatization's adverse impacts and create opportunities for youth. The Congress called for policies to support agriculture, including fair pricing and relief for farmers facing economic distress. Political justice and democratic integrity was also discussed. The resolution raised concern about electoral integrity, urging vigilance over voter rolls and electronic voting machines to ensure free and fair elections. It criticized the BJP for weakening democratic institutions and pledged to strengthen judicial accountability and federalism. The resolution reaffirmed support for the India bloc, signaling the Congress's intent to repair and stabilize alliances ahead of upcoming state elections in Bihar, Kerala, West Bengal, Assam, and Tamil Nadu. Foreign policy of the country was also discussed in the conference. The Congress expressed concern over the BJP's weak, neat foreign policy, alleging it had compromised India's global standing. It reiterated the party's support for the Palestinian cause, condemning violence and advocating a balanced approach to international conflicts. The resolution called for a foreign policy rooted in India's historical commitment to non-alignment and global cooperation. Organizational reforms were also discussed in the conference. The resolution outlined steps to rejuvenate the Congress organization, emphasizing grassroots empowerment. It proposed giving district Congress committees, DCCs, greater decision-making powers, including a say in candidate selection and booth-level management. It echoed earlier commitments from the Udaipur Declaration, which was held in 2022, and Belgavi Conclave, which was held in 2024, focusing on accountability, decentralization, and the creation of political affairs committees at the district level. Secularism and national harmony were the key points to be discussed in the conference. A last-minute inclusion, secularism was highlighted as a core principle, reinforcing the Congress's commitment to protecting India's composite culture. The resolution condemned policies like the WAF Amendment Bill, which it argued threatened minority rights and called for inclusive governance. What are the objectives of the Nyay resolution? The Nyay resolution basically served multiple strategic objectives like ideological clarity. By defining its vision of nationalism and justice, the Congress aimed to differentiate itself from the BJP's narrative, appealing to voters divisive politics, Hindu-Mussalman politics. This policy roadmap was also discussed. The resolution provided a blueprint for addressing immediate concerns like unemployment, inflation, and social inequality, while laying the groundwork for long-term reforms like a caste census and reservation expansion. Organizational revival, as I discussed, it sought to galvanize the party's rank and file by empowering local units and addressing internal stagnation, a critical need after recent electoral losses. Alliance building was also discussed. By endorsing the India bloc and emphasizing secularism, the resolution aimed to strengthen coalition ties ahead of key state elections. Electoral strategy was also discussed with an eye on the 2027 Gujarat Assembly elections and the 2029 general election. The resolution positioned the Congress as a viable alternative in a BJP-dominated state. The Nyay resolution was a pivotal moment for the Congress, signaling its intent to move beyond reactive opposition to proactive agenda setting. Its focus on social justice, particularly the caste census and reservation reforms, resonated with Rahul Gandhi's long-standing advocacy for marginalized communities, reinforcing his role as the party's ideological anchor. The emphasis on secularism and the India bloc addressed concerns about the party's alliance strategy, which had faltered after the 2024 elections. In Gujarat, the resolution's state-specific focus encapsulated in the motto Nutan Gujarat, Nutan Congress. New Congress, marked a bold attempt to challenge the BJP's three-decade dominance. By invoking Gandhi and Patel, the Congress sought to reclaim their legacy, countering the BJP's efforts to appropriate Patel's image. However, the resolution's success hinges on implementation. Past sessions like Udaipur in 2022 proposed ambitious reforms that remained unfulfilled, raising skepticism about the party's follow through. It has failed to some extent also. The Nyay resolutions, broad scope covering nationalism, economic policy, and organizational reform, risk diluting focus unless prioritized effectively. Moreover, the Congress faces an uphill battle in Gujarat, where its organizational presence was weakened, with only 12 MLAs in the 182 member assembly after the 2022 assembly elections. So we can say the Nyay resolution adopted at the AICC Ahmedabad session in April 2025 was a multifaceted effort to redefine the Congress party's vision and strategy in a challenging political landscape. Rooted in the principles of justice, inclusivity, and grassroots empowerment, it sought to address India's socio-economic challenges while countering the BJP's dominance. By blending ideological clarity with practical reforms, the resolution aimed to inspire hope among Congress workers and voters alike. However, its true impact will depend on the party's ability to translate rhetoric into action, rebuild its organizational strength, and forge viable alliances. As the Congress looks to the future, Nyay represents both a call to action and a taste of the Congress party. Thank you.